Welcome to the NoPixAfterDark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. We are live at MACO 2023. Wow, I'm so excited to be here. And you know what? We got to start off with a bang with some amazing guests. And I'm so excited to have them here because they got some really cool things going on behind the scenes. So I want to introduce Ms. Laura right here to my left, and then the far left, Mr. Sam. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good morning. Wonderful.
Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, bright and early. I got my beautiful face on right now.
Yes, you do.
So thank you so much for coming in. Tell people a little bit about you guys. Give a quick background before who you guys are and what company you guys work for.
Well, I'm just going to tell you how I got here.
Okay.
I was a county elected official for 12 years and was president of the Maryland Association of Counties, which is last year, which is how I got to know you and did the podcast last year. And I knew that I wanted to do something to continue to help local government, recovering politician. And so when I met Sam and his team, I knew that this was the right place to be, and I was very fortunate that he brought me on to work with EZVOLTZ.
Well, thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
I really appreciate you having us here. My background is I'm a technologist by trade and training. I've built companies purely on technology-based companies. And over the last 3 years, we've been focused on EVs and EV charging platforms. When we started to look at this industry, we realized that the adoption of EVs is going like a hockey stick, but the charging platform is just kind of creeping along, and there's this wide gap. And then we did some surveys. We found out that 1 in 3 charging stations just do not work. So now imagine if you are an EV driver and you're wanting to get to some place and you get to that charging station and find out it's not working. That's not cool.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking with a coworker recently. He was driving from Baltimore to South Carolina. 2 of the charging stations were broken. So can you imagine, like, he's looking for a charging station and he can't find one. It finally is like literally at the end. He couldn't finally got the charge. But that's why I wanted to bring you guys on, because it's so important. And you got the best in the business right here. Let me tell you, she is the best in the business. I could tell. When I met her last year, I was like, it's a star right here. She already knows that. But so how did you guys meet? How did you guys connect? I'm curious how that happened.
So Sam had worked for the previous administration in the cabinet doing various things. So he has a lot of state government experience, and met him through there, and mutual friends, certainly, in all my years with Mako working on state issues. So it's just really a natural fit. And so because these things, you're right, they're not working. People are having to download all these different apps. They're specific to whatever charging station. So I'll let you give more of the technology about how it all works. But the beginning of the company is, the app, and sees all of the charging stations. Not only does it see them, it tells you who owns it, is it public, what level charger, is it fast charger, medium speed charger, and is it working? So that's the first thing you need, to be able to do. And now you did all the tech work to go with that.
Right. So, we're a high-tech company, but what we really needed was high touch, and that's what Laura provides, right? So, we found the problem in the industry, which was, besides the Tesla network, all the other networks, it's a hit and miss. So our technology and our app and our back-end software finds exactly, or fulfills on that promise, that when you get to a charging station, that charging station is going to be on, or it's going to be available, or the app will tell you that either it's in use, or it's not working, or it's just offline.
So I've downloaded the app. I like the app a lot. Now, cause my sister's buying an electric charger car, and I'm like, you gotta get this because this will help you out wherever you go. And I really appreciate doing that, because what I'm gonna do is, afterwards, I'll do a little quick video of it behind the scenes, show people how it works. Great. But I like it. It's right in my hands. It's easy. They don't have to think about it. People don't want to think anymore.
Hence our name, EZVOLTZ.
But nobody wants to think anymore. It's like,
Right.
I call it the TikTok thing. It's like, I don't want to think, I want this thing to think for me. So you guys are going around, I know you guys have been busy, and I'm grateful you guys making time. What are you guys looking for this year, 2023, 24, like going forward? Where are you guys looking to push? I know government takes a while. I know it takes a while for everything. But what are you guys looking to get out there and make your mark? What are some of the goals you're looking to?
So there's like 3 areas that we have brought all together, or interconnected. So it's not just the app, right? Yeah. Everybody has an app, but ours is built to work with the charging infrastructure that we want to help the local governments get on the ground and then do their fleet management and their back office data management. So there's money out there, right? We know about the infrastructure grants, and certainly the government types, nerds, definitely know about that, and they can access that money. But it is specifically for local governments to put the chargers on the ground and own them themselves. So right now you'll go out, and besides Tesla, you're going to see 25 or 30 different companies, and it's hodgepodge. It's all over the map, no pun intended. And the left hand isn't talking to the right hand. Actually, that's the left hand.
You told me something really cool, though. You told me that if, say, for instance, they want to do it in Baltimore or whatnot, they could drop it out the ceiling or something like that. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, I'm going to let Sam tell you about this really cool manufacturer.
That is so cool. So tell me a little bit about it.
Right. So, we do 3 things. Besides the app, we have a back-end software that connects with any kind of charger in the country, right? We're in 30 countries right now with 7,500 chargers under our software. Number one, we can convert parking meters into charging meters. So if you're a county or if you're a city, you have all these parking meters that kind of give about they generate $10 to $12 a day. But when you convert that parking meter into a charging meter, it goes anywhere from $30 to $50 a day for a city or a county. So that's an elegant solution. And then when you go to garages, the problem with a garage is that it's real estate.
Right.
So you park this massive charger, and you take up real estate. So our solution is that our chargers actually fit on the ceiling, and through our app, you start a charging session, and this cable drops down from the ceiling, and you plug it into your car with the connector, and when the charging session's done, it's over, and then the cable automatically retracts up there. And so it's simple, it's easy to use, and it's out of the way. And the parking garage owners, whether it's a county, a city, or an airport, they don't lose any real estate.
I thought that was so cool because Miss Laura and I were talking, and I'm like, Baltimore doesn't have enough parking spaces. They don't have enough spaces to put a charge everywhere. When I heard that, I was like, you guys are on the forefront. That's next level. You're there.
Well, it also solves another problem, and unfortunately, there is vandalism. And so matter of fact, talked to Mayor Scott on the way in this morning, and I was like, okay, I've known you for a few years. I said, but I got to tell you what we have to offer that would be really, really helpful for the city, because you have multi-use housing, and you need to have the chargers available. But let's be honest, in this there's crime everywhere, but specifically in the cities, if you're going to invest in something like this, you don't want to be having people, stealing that copper cord and trying to replace it. You wouldn't be able to keep up with the repairs. And then, of course, your chargers are down.
Right. So I guess, I want to know, what do you guys want people to know about your company, what you guys are doing? Where can they find you? Where can they engage with you guys if they want to do some work with you guys?
Great. Can I take that? So our software is very specific to state, local, and county governments, okay? State and local governments and municipalities. What's happening in the industry is that there are 27 different networks. There's like the Tesla charger network, and there are like many others. And these chargers, they come into a jurisdiction, they plop their chargers, and then they leave, right? So the local government then has zero view into what's happening. If the charger's down, they don't know. So we are advocating that state and local governments ought to have their own network that they can manage, and we can help them manage that. So that's what we are advocating. We have spoken to a lot of county governments. We have spoken to many, many mayors across Maryland. And the message is beginning to resonate. Like you said, it takes a little while for governments to kind of, get into the game. And so we're really hopeful in 23, the rest of 23 and 24, that they will start to adopt building their own EV charging networks.
Wasn't there a percentage that we talked about recently about?
So the other benefit, I mean, obviously you want accountability. If you're using even just taxpayer real estate, you want to be accountable, make sure those things are working. But there's a little something called highway user revenues. That was my life kind of for the last 12 years. And the counties and cities are not getting that. And what that is the gas tax that you pay when you're when you're filling up your car with gas. So the counties are getting a lot less percentage of that, but also as the EVs come online, there's also less money going into the gas tax fund. So we have a revenue share model that is extremely unique that nobody else has to this extent, where a ballpark of 75-25 to the county. So even if they haven't yet gotten their grant for the big rollout, they can get started now, and the payback in 12 to 18 months with just a couple of charges a day. So there's an opportunity for them to maybe just front a small amount of money that will pay itself back within a year or so, and then they're making money that they can use to fill potholes, fix their roads, give discounts to their citizens. They then have the profit margin to do whatever they choose to do that's right for their jurisdiction and their citizens.
I love it. I love it. Where can we find you guys on social media? Where can they reach out to? Tell us, give us a whole break. Are you guys TikToking now and doing something with the Vault? I mean, that's what everybody's doing now.
That's
TikTok
right.
and
Well, I
whatnot.
haven't started TikTok yet, but we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook. And we certainly have the website, which is www.EZVOLTZ.com. You can download the app now on both the Google Play and the Apple stores. And just grab us on one of the social medias. I'm posting links every day to that stuff.
What I would love to do is have you guys come to Baltimore, and we can do a live show. I do live shows once a month now. It's a rotating series, but I think this really needs to be told in Baltimore. I have a lot of friends who are looking to buy electric cars, and those are the questions. They don't live in houses, they don't own a house, they live in condos or apartments that may have one or two chargers. I think it's very beneficial for my audience to be a part of that. So I'm extending the invitation out.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you guys show some love and come through, but we really appreciate you guys coming, hanging out first thing in the morning. I had to get my beautiful face on. No, I'm teasing, Miss Laura.
And these two were running through the parking lot trying to find a space.
Woo, I was like the Hertz commercial running through the parking lot. But thank you guys so much for hanging out, and look forward to hearing from you guys and bring them to Baltimore. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the NoPixAfterDark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. Again, I told you people, I have the heavy hitters coming here at Mako. It's going to be great. This interview, I've been trying to do probably for a year, maybe. I don't even know. That's how crazy it is. But I'm so happy to have Miss Natasha on. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. How's Mako going so far for you?
So good. This place always has a special place in my heart. I used to work for Mako, so coming to the conference every year is just something you have to do.
All right. So
don't want to miss.
We'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that part. Let's talk a little bit about you. What company you work for and what you got going on.
Sure. So I'm a lobbyist with Manus Canning and Associates. It's one of the oldest lobbying firms in Annapolis. Started just about 50 years ago by George Manus, and then the legacy continued with his son, Nick Manus. We have an amazing team. Additionally, Joe Bryce, John Pavaza, Andrea Mansfield, and I'm the newest member of the team.
I love it. I love it. So, you're there, and then I know you back from the Baltimore days.
Yes.
And I want to give her a special shout out. She doesn't know that I'm about to do this right now. So, Mako last year reached out to me, and I didn't know anything about what Mako was. And they reached out and said, we did our background check on you. We know who you are. We have people everywhere. I'm like, how do they know who's who? And that's how I found out you used to work for Mako. And they're like, we checked with the Baltimore City crew. They said you're legit. And I was like, thank you. So thank you for just giving me help, giving me that door, foot in the door. I appreciate that.
Of course. I love the podcast. And when they were like, yeah, we want to see what's going on. Do you know anyone in Baltimore? I'm like, I do.
So I thank you. So we got to give her flowers, but putting the brother on. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So you left Baltimore City. Do you miss it? Do you miss being like working there? And like, now, I'm just curious, do you miss it?
Yeah, I still live in the city. I love the city. It's, working in the public sector, it really is a service, and I loved being able to contribute and do everything I can for the city I live in, the city I care about. They have a wonderful team there. Really enjoyed working for Mayor Scott. I think they're doing great work. It's hard work.
It's hard work. It's hard. It's a
and
hard
they
city.
do work very hard for the city. And so this came with a new opportunity. I had been doing local government work for almost 10 years at that point. So switching over to the private sector was something that could broaden my portfolio.
Nice. I like that. I like that. And like, when you started with Mako back in the day, so even giving you a background, did you want to, when you got out of college and whatnot, because you're a lawyer, correct?
Yes.
So, okay. So did you ever want to be in the lobbyist area? Like, was that something that you always wanted to do?
It was. Actually, I've never practiced law. I am a barred attorney, but I went into law school and I did a focus in health law and policy, particularly drug policy. And so even in my clinical work, it wasn't really, doing typical lawyer billing court stuff. It was really focused on policy. And at the time, it was making sure that with the Affordable Care Act, that there was parity between substance use treatments and your regular physical treatment, so that if you have a depression or anxiety, that you were getting the same sort of treatment without limitations than as you would if you had diabetes or a broken leg.
Is there like a personal touch with that with you? Like, is there somebody that like really is a passion that you're like, I really want to help out people? Like, is that something?
Yeah. So actually, my dad's a doctor and my mom's a nurse, and none of us quite followed in their footsteps. But I really liked healthcare issues, and so math and science weren't my strong suit. So going into law school, becoming a lawyer was one way that I could still participate in that realm, in that world, even though I wouldn't be, treating patients.
So tell me a little about the firm you work with. Tell me some of the great things that you guys are doing right now and looking to the future.
Yeah, so we have, as I mentioned, it's a lobbying firm with a long legacy. And so we have a lot of really great clients. And even looking here, we have some of our clients are here, Baltimore Peninsula, Sagamore Spirits.
Hey now. Did not know that.
We also represent the Ravens, Under Armour. We have a bunch of clients that are actually here right now, RSM, Pfizer, Maryland Works, Maryland Humanities, the Chiefs and Sheriffs Association, Maglev. So it's really just a diverse range of clients. And given that everyone on the team, the 5 of us, have such different, varied backgrounds, but long-term backgrounds, having worked through many administrations, it really gives our clients a really good basis of people to work with. And we do work as a team. So each of us steps in when there's something that we could do to help the clients.
I love that because it's funny. We have Sagamore Spirit, Baltimore Peninsula. I just did an interview. I don't know where you missed. I don't know where you were.
I did. I had
no worries.
Yes.
But
I was sad I missed it.
That was probably one of my dopest interviews I've ever. Like when I've done a lot of interviews. That was probably top 5. And like Marianne,
Yes.
Gil Martin, amazing. And during the episode, she said, "No picks us a home here for the whole year."
Wonderful.
Right. So it would be great to tie in your firm. You guys do something where we can do something really cool and do something really cool down there because she's like, you have a spot here all year long.
And it's so amazing what's going on there. And I live kind of close in Fed Hill. And so I was able to see as they've been developing this over the years. And it was just like, it's amazing as you see it coming together in this, whole new neighborhood from what was a lot of industrial land. And it's just, it looks really cool. I even played volleyball with Volo at their courts.
They do have volleyball there.
Yeah.
So we're actually, a little exclusive.
Ooh.
We're gonna do some cool things with them. So I can't really say what it is,
I like that.
but we're working on some things behind the scenes right now. That I think that's why they're up here. So I wanted them to get that exposure and whatnot. What are some? I love that you guys are involved in a lot of places in Baltimore. That's a really good thing because as far as this past session, anything that you really want to highlight from this past session that you guys got passed, possibly? Yeah.
So there was. One really good bill in terms of healthcare stuff, because it's some of the stuff I like the most.
Uh-huh.
Right now, with the opioid epidemic, you have naloxone, an overdose reversal drug that helps revive people. But as you have fentanyl, you have just people that are needing multiple doses of naloxone in order to be revived. And so one of our clients has a reversal drug that's an 8 milligram dose. So as fentanyl gets stronger, you have another option for administering it. And so we had a bill passed this past session that ensured that the health department, Maryland Health Department, was able to carry all overdose reversal drugs that are FDA approved.
Wow.
So it makes it so that anything that can help, that they're able to order for the overdose response programs, can be there. So it's always like really helpful in that realm. And for me, it also connects back to one of the first issues I worked on at Mako was passing the bill that allowed officers to carry naloxone.
Ooh,
and that at the very beginning.
Important.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a lot, that was when it was newer and there's a lot of questions as to how that works.
I like that. So what do you want people to walk away with just from your firm and what you got going on yourself? What do you want people to walk away with from our conversation today?
I like everyone to walk away with it. We're very passionate about helping our clients. We care deeply on all sorts of level. Andrea and I have really deep local background experience working with the government. She had also worked with Mako. And again, the rest of the team, having worked through various administrations, Joe worked for President Miller and John for Speaker Bush. And so it's a really deep knowledge base you get with us. And you get people that are very passionate about doing the work and helping our clients to the best of our abilities.
Well, you're doing a damn thing out there, and we want to salute you and give you your flowers because you're doing it. I'm so excited that we had you on the show. You got fans over here waving to her.
Hey.
We are live, folks.
Those are my city peoples.
Okay. So I love it. I love it. That's what Mako's all about. People come and hang out and we're doing some amazing things. So we really appreciate it. They come to see you. They ain't come to see me. But that's dope, though. But again, where can they find you guys on social media?
You can find us at manascanning.com. It's also Manascanning on X. It's hard to be like, I wanted to say Twitter.
I don't know what it is. I still call it Twitter. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
exactly. So we're there. We have a LinkedIn page. Can always reach out. And I'm Natasha Mehu at X or whatever it's called now.
Gotcha. We're gonna run this back and do some cool stuff with you guys, hopefully.
All right, sounds great.
And I would love to do some with Baldwin Peninsula and to you guys work with them and whatnot.
Yes.
So before you leave, you can't get off the hook.
All right.
Speed round, we can't get you off the
Okay,
hook. Because you've
let's
been to
do
all
it.
of my shows.
I have.
So I can't let you off.
I'm ready.
All right, chicken wings, flats or drums?
Flats, hands down.
All right. Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Okay, see, we hitting home runs right now.
Yep.
Crabs or crab cakes?
Crabs.
Crabs, okay. I thought you were going to say cocoa for a second. I thought you were going to say crab
Oh, well,
cakes.
yeah. Well, see, I do love Coco's, and we know my former boss is also a big fan of Coco's.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like having crabs, like the first round of the season in the summer is what I did for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And you just get into it, and there's a crab feast tomorrow afternoon, and I will be there.
I'm about to really, I'm wearing my sweatpants tomorrow for that.
Exactly. You gotta get all doused in the Old Bay and beers.
You already know this out. You already know. And then your favorite Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay, so that would be this is a little hard, but Beyonce, when she performed herself and had Michelle and Kelly join her, and that was the Super Bowl that the Ravens won.
Oh, you went back because the power went out.
Yes, the power went out at the stadium, and so it was also one of the most memorable. And with Baltimore being my adopted home, I'm originally from New York, but I've made Baltimore my home. It was just like a really memorable Super Bowl, and like it's Beyonce.
I love it. And then shout out to our friend Emily. You know you got to shout her out.
Shout out to
Emily.
Oh yes, Emily.
See, Emily was supposed to happen. See who your real friend? See, no.
Shout out to Emily Drasher.
She knows.
Baltimore Fiscal.
Baltimore Fiscal. Sorry, I started the car. But we want to give you a shout out to. We miss you. Oh God, PC, she got a fan club. I'm about to have her give me this mic over here. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me. Right. Anytime.
We'll do it again.
Yes.
Love, peace. We're out, folks.
When you give to United Way, your gift could be the first spark of something bigger. It can help provide nutritious food for a family in need. Because eating healthy shouldn't be a luxury. It can help someone with housing challenges and be a catalyst for a new beginning. Because a safe space to call home is the foundation for building a better future. Give today. Spark something bigger.
Folks, we are doing, I told you guys, we're going to have an amazing day at Mako. And I have none but celebrities come on. People who are doing big things in Maryland. So, I reached out and said, I need to talk to somebody in Prince George's County. I need to be out in the Prince George's because I meet so many amazing people, but I want to know who's doing what. Because my audience is mostly Baltimore County, Anne Arundel County, Harford County, but I want to reach out to Prince George's and really grow. So no other good shout out to Sophia for making this happen. I want to make shout out. So we have Madam State's Attorney, Aisha and Braveboy. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Hey, how to get that right. That's how I make sure we get you right.
You got it right. You got it right.
I was sweating doing that one. I was sweating. But thank you so much for hanging out with me and NoPixAfterDark at Mako. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and it's just great to meet you. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about you, so I'm looking forward to this interview.
Oh, we're going to have fun. So before let's start off. Tell people a little bit about you. Who are you? Are you from Maryland? Tell us a little background.
Well, look, I'm a native Washingtonian, but I've lived in Prince George's County most of my life. My father immigrated to this country from Grenada, so I'm Caribbean. And recently I found out I'm also Nigerian, so I did my DNA test. And so it's great, even at my age, to learn different parts of me. So it's been great just growing up in Prince George's County, and now being able to serve the county that I grew up in is kind of like a dream come true.
I love it. So, growing up, did you always want to be an attorney, a lawyer? Is that something, was there somebody in the family? Was there something, because it's always one of those things where how do you know, I want to do this because I saw my dad being a doctor or my mom being a lawyer. How did you how did that even come about?
I totally thought I was going to go into engineering or the sciences. My father is an engineer. My mother is an accountant. So that's where I thought I was headed. However...
Here we go. The truth coming out.
You realize as you start taking classes when you're in college, you realize what you are inclined and good in, and then things you are not so inclined in. And so I realized I was gravitating more towards the liberal arts. And I took a lot of courses in government. I actually took a course taught by Donna Brazil.
Okay.
And it was really about the Voting Rights Act. And so we read a lot of case law during that class, and that's where I developed a love for law. But my father, I have to tell you, told me very early on, when I was a very argumentative young person, that I was going to be a lawyer. And I told him, no, I am not. Of course, he was right.
I respect it because that's you're going to school, writing. We just had a lawyer on before you. And
Yes.
it's just, I respect what you guys do.
Thank you.
And it's a lot of hard work. And you going into the public sector doing it, were you in the private sector first, or did you always do the public sector?
So I thought I was going to do telecom work, and so I worked for the Federal Communications Commission for a couple of years, and from there I was going to either work for a firm or go to an association, but as luck would have it, my father again told me, go work on this campaign. You know, you need to get to know people. You need to get involved in politics. I was like, no, Dad, I don't want to do that. He said, yeah, you're going to do it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. He said, well, you're still living in my house. At the time I was.
Hey.
So I said, okay, I guess I'm going to.
I've heard that story.
You know Caribbean fathers
listen,
now.
Listen, my dad was like, as long as you live in this house, we're going. I've heard that 100 times, and I'm like, you won?
So I did, and you know what? The truth is, so the lesson in life for me has been listen to my father, because somehow he knows what he's talking about. So I ended up working on a campaign. The person won, and then asked me to come work for local government, and that's how I got into local government.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So, you know, you got local government. We're walking people through the story.
Okay.
Walk us through how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah, so I was doing, and this is a funny story. I was doing legislative work, essentially. And at one point, we figured out that Anthony Brown was no longer going to run for delegate. He was my state delegate. Mm-hmm. And a few folks were talking one day, and they said, oh, Anthony's not going to run again. I wonder who's going to, run in his place. And I said, oh, I'll probably run. I was like joking, but it kind of caught on. And a local reporter picked up this story because she had heard through the grapevine that I was going to run, and started asking some of the local HOA leaders, what did they think about me possibly running? And a lot of folks were like, yeah, we like her. She comes to our community meetings. And so they got me excited about the possibilities, because they thought that I would be a good representative for them. And here I am in my early 30s, not thinking I was ever going to run for office. And as luck would have it, I decided to run really with their backing. And here I am today.
I mean, come on. I mean, you got to give it up. I mean, you're doing the big things in Prince George's County. And that's what I want to, point out, because when I spoke to the team, they're like, they gave me all the points. I said, now let's sit down and talk and just have a good time.
Yeah, let's
conversation. So what things do you see, like the last 6 months during session, that you were happy that bills got passed?
I think there was some clarity that was needed around cannabis, and clearly the legislature followed the will and wishes of the people to legalize cannabis, and now set up a legislative framework. There's some things I'd like to, see tweaked. I mean, we really need to focus on public safety. We're seeing a high rate of people who are driving under the influence, not just of cannabis, but of other substances like alcohol. But we don't want that exacerbated by the legalization of cannabis. And so people have to understand that even though there's no kind of legal level like there is with alcohol, if you are driving under the influence, and you are stopped, and it is determined that you are impaired in any way, you will still be arrested, charged, and prosecuted.
How do you feel about just the people, the black or brown people who have gone through, got arrested for like a nick or a dime bag of marijuana, still in their record? How can we get that expunged? I mean, that's important, because imagine you have a great person, but the company's like, well, it's legal now.
Right.
How can we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So back in 2019, I stopped prosecuting low levels of marijuana. So under my administration, we had very, very few prosecutions for minor possession. Now, possession with the intent to distribute, that's another story, but for possession only. And so we have been expunging records for years now, but now we have really what's considered automatic expunsions, meaning you can apply at any time to get your record expunged, as opposed to waiting a certain period of time before you would be eligible. Now, as of July 1st, you can just come in and get your expungement.
Can I tell you one thing that I really like also? And I mean, I'm not going to say I'm an angel, but I've been to cars where people have been enjoying libations and stuff like that. And a police officer could pull you over and you're done with it. And the smells.
Yeah,
now,
the
why did
odor.
y'all change that law? That to me is a big one.
So
for me.
I did not change
But
that law
help
personally, but that is what the legislature did,
Okay.
which essentially says that the odor of marijuana alone is not enough to do or conduct a search.
Right.
Prior to that, the odor of marijuana was enough to conduct the search of a vehicle, not the person, but the vehicle. And that happened as a result of the change in the hemp laws here in Maryland when hemp became a recognized substance, and hemp is a substance that has most of the properties of marijuana, but less of a THC concentration level. So a 0.03% THC concentration or less is considered hemp, and if it's more than that percentage, then it's considered marijuana. So it was really interesting when the law changed to legalize hemp. Because hemp and marijuana have some of the same properties, it was difficult to distinguish. And so, again, the odor became enough to search the vehicle, but not the person. And now it's not enough to search the vehicle either. Now, on the other side of that, I have to give you the other side.
Okay.
About 40 to 50% of the guns, the illegal guns that we seize in Prince George's County, come from those types of stops. So I'm not suggesting that the legislature did not act appropriately. What I'm just saying is that there are consequences, and there may be more illegal guns in our communities as a result. But again, as public safety, our job is to enforce the law. Legislature creates it. I was there once in the legislature, so I know that role too. So, you know.
I love it. I love it. What is one of the most important things that your constituents, they really key on that they want you to enforce? Is there something that you did that they're like, we want you to do this? Like, what's something major in Prince George's County?
We have seen a spike in carjacking. Really focusing not only on carjackings, but auto theft is really important. And also gun crimes. Anyone who has a gun, possess a gun. You know, we're seeing a rise in young people bringing guns to school, in particular ghost guns, which we banned a couple of years ago. And so we have to hold our young people accountable. We have to love them. We have to care for them, give them every opportunity to get it right. But if they endanger the lives of other people, we have to do our jobs.
I love that you said that. We really do gotta look for young people. It's different. It's different. We're living in a different age, different time. All right, so we did all the hard stuff. We're gonna have some fun right now.
Okay.
Are you a meat eater? Are you a meat eater? Do you eat meat?
Of course.
I gotta ask, because I had somebody tell me last night they made vegan crab cakes, and I was like, okay. See what I'm saying? I gotta ask the question. I heard it last night, and I was like, I had a side eye, but it's all right though. So we're gonna ask, all right.
Okay.
Chicken wings, flats or drums?
You know what? It all depends.
See, you're a politician now. Come
but
on.
It's true.
All right.
So with the barbecue, I like it flat.
Okay.
But with the Old Bay, I like the drums. I'm not sure why.
I'm a flat Honey Old Bay all day.
Honey Old Bay. Now you're speaking my language.
See?
I can eat Honey Old Bay flats or drums.
I love it. I love it. Blue cheese or ranch with the wings?
Blue cheese.
Oh, there we go. So for crabs or crab cakes?
Okay. I like the purity of crabs.
Okay.
And I'm from here. Now, I've learned during COVID, when everyone was using plastic gloves for everything, I started eating crabs if I was out with my plastic, gloves. And I realized that that's the best way to eat them, because then you don't get that smell.
And you find every cut in your hand.
So now, the last crab feast I went to, I brought my gloves.
So you're leaving tomorrow. I could watch that in this process, the crab feast.
Well, we'll have to just.
We got to do one.
I'll have a reason to come up to Baltimore
Please,
to see you.
We'll do crabs.
And then we'll have crabs. I'll bring the gloves.
We want you more in Baltimore. Come in Baltimore, hang out more stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, what's your favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
Well, and not just because I just saw her, but Beyonce never disappoints.
Facts.
And when Destiny's Child joined her for the cameo, that was everything. But I have to say that Prince probably
that's my favorite.
is my favorite of all time.
That's my favorite.
And guess what? I went to Paisley Palace this summer.
I'm jealous right now. I'm jealous right now because
gotta go.
I saw Prince when he came to Baltimore just before he passed.
You did. I never saw him.
And it was the most amazing concert. I've never seen a guy wearing 8-inch heels, dancing around and playing every instrument. And I was like, I'm in love with him. Like I was like, I love Prince. Like I would have just hugged him. I just wanted to hug him. That's all.
And he's so deep.
He is deep.
And then when I saw, like, they had all his clothes and his little shoes.
Shoes, yeah.
And his little clothes. I mean, he was a little guy.
Right.
But he carried such a powerful punch. He's had a big soul. And he was super intelligent.
Yeah.
And I never understood when he changed his name to the symbol why that happened.
You know
and so
why
I
now?
learned, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Smart.
That's a smart man.
Smart.
And he was a free man mentally.
Right.
And that made a difference.
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate you coming
Thank
on
you.
the show, hanging out. This is when we come out. And we're probably going to do another one, though. We're going to do one. We're going to come out to Prince George's County and hang out there for a little bit and do a long version.
You know what we got to do?
What's that?
Who's got the best crab cakes? And who's got the best crabs?
Well, see, now you're about to get
Let's
in trouble.
do it.
Now you're about to
Let's
get in
do it.
trouble.
Let's do it.
You don't
Come
want to
on,
go down
y'all.
that road.
Prince George's County, we got to do our thing.
We're going to leave that alone. We're not going to have no, we come in peace today.
Okay.
But I'm going to come out there and we'll check it out.
Yeah.
We go one place in Prince George's County. We'll come to Baltimore, do one spot in Baltimore.
All right, sounds
We'll
like
make
a
it
plan.
happen.
Got it.
Folks, love, peace, we're out. Hey, welcome back to the NoPixAfterDark podcast. We are live at Mako. Again, I told you I'm getting all the celebrities from the state of Maryland coming on the show. And this one, I've been trying to get on the show, and she has other people, but I'm teasing right now. We have Miss Mary Kane. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Aaron?
Good. Tell the people a little bit about what you do and who you work with.
Okay, I am president of the Maryland Chamber of Commerce. So we have 6,800 members, businesses, small, large, and huge businesses across the state of Maryland, and we represent them in Annapolis in front of the legislature.
I love it. So, how did you get involved in that? Just curious. How does it even happen? Like, give us your background about how you got into this.
How I got into this? Okay. Well, I actually worked at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
After I worked on Capitol Hill. Okay. So Chamber just was kind of in my blood. And then I was also Secretary of State here in Maryland. So when I saw this opportunity come up, I was like, oh my goodness, back in Annapolis, love the people there, and I get to represent business. It was kind of a great fit.
I love that. So, your team does an amazing job. Can you give us a peek behind the curtain of like what your day-to-day operations you guys do for the state of Maryland?
Our day-to-day operations, well, we take care of our members. That is our primary, when someone calls and they need something or they need to talk about something that's happening in Annapolis, we are right on it.
Right.
We also do a lot of communications about business to people in the state of Maryland. For instance, last year we introduced our competitiveness red book, and we do a lot of social media on that, and just spreading the good word about business and the good things that businesses do here in Maryland.
I love that. And now, tell me about the groups that are joined. Like, how do you join the Maryland Chamber? Like, how does that work? Do I have to have, like, can I be an entrepreneur? Do I have to have an EIN number? Like, give us, like, I can say I'm a business, but I don't have an EIN number. So how does that work?
I totally understand. Well, usually we find out if someone's interested in legislation, and then we will go out and knock on doors. It's your regular cold calling. And then we also have members that have been there for decades. I mean, the Maryland Chamber of Commerce was started in 1968. So we have quite a few large Maryland companies that have been with us for the long term.
And I wanted to thank you because I met so many amazing people at your event in Baltimore. It was the
Inspire Maryland.
And I met so many great people. And I want to thank you for that. Yeah. Because again, I didn't know what I was walking into. And you guys are teasing, signing, come. We really want you to come. And I will tell you guys, it's beneficial to join, and you meet so many amazing different business people out there. So thank you.
And that's just it. We're not focused on just one business. We are one industry. We're focused on all businesses. So you can be an entrepreneur of one, or you can have, be Lockheed Martin with tens of thousands of people.
Wow.
And it's just, we cover all the things that they do day to day. Like, we're not going to tell them how to build rockets, or we're not going to tell you or be, involved in how you're putting on a podcast, but we do help you with legislation that's coming down the road, which there are a lot of different laws that you may or may not like, and tell you how to maneuver around them.
So tell us a little sneak peek about a legislation that came up that you were very happy about, that got passed, that you guys might have said, hey, this helps out the business community, something like that. So give us a little.
That recently got passed.
Anything for the session that you were happy about that helped Maryland businesses out?
Actually, we try to
stay away from it.
Yeah, we didn't introduce really any legislation last year. We are looking to be much more proactive for businesses. In the past, unfortunately, we've always been reactive and not in front of the legislation, but actually reacting to legislation that affects businesses.
Gotcha.
And sometimes that's good. A lot of times it's not.
Got you. So I guess if I'm an entrepreneur out there, I'm hearing you talk about all this. What is the pitch? What is your pitch to them saying to join?
Come help us represent you. We want you to keep your taxes lower. We want your regulations to be manageable and reasonable. And we want you to join a great group of people that want to build business in Maryland. It's good for everyone.
I like that. So what do you, for Mako, how many years have you been going to Mako?
Oh my goodness. So when I was Secretary of State, we were here all 4 years and we had our own booth. So that was fun. So I know what it's like to be back here. But we also, so I've been coming for the past 2 years now as the chamber president.
Nice. What is your favorite part of Mako?
Oh, well, one, the crab feast is always great because it's like everybody emerges and they're all there picking crabs. It's such a Maryland event.
Yes.
And the receptions in the evening, but also walking around and seeing all the county initiatives that are going on. And a lot of the businesses that support our counties.
Wow. And then what do you normally, if somebody who's looking in, they're like, what is Mako all about? What do you say for any businesses? Hey, come down. This is a great opportunity for you to be seen. What do you say?
I think any and all businesses should come down, only because you're going to meet the people that make the decisions. And those are the people you need to get to. Cold calling is great, but come down here, have a beer, pick a crab, and sit down with local business leaders and the people that make the decisions in the counties, county executives, their staff, and also their delegates and state senators. And of course, the governor is always here, and it's always a highlight to see him walk through the whole exhibit hall.
Yeah, exhibit hall.
And this huge snowblower over here, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I saw that and I was like, this is pretty wild.
I know.
It's pretty wild. I like coming to Mako because I get to meet people like yourself. I get to meet people who probably I would see on TV or see at distance, but never have a chance to talk with them. And so I'm very appreciative that you made time, because I know you're busy. You have a lot of people that you do see down here. So we're not going to get you. So what would you want people to walk away with about Maryland Chamber, just about walking away from this episode?
Log on, see what we do. Maryland, it's mdchamber.org. It is, I think you'll find something for everyone, whether you're involved in a small business, and that means charities too. That's our nonprofits are also businesses, because I am a nonprofit.
Right.
And we take care of you too. It's not an us versus them, it's a we.
I love that. So we're going to speed round. I can't let you off the hook without speed round.
Okay.
Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Flats.
All right. Blue cheese or ranch?
Ranch.
Old Bay, honey Old Bay, or regular buffalo?
Regular buffalo.
No honey Old Bay? You don't like
honey Old Bay? I don't know if I've actually tried those.
Oh, we got to get you to try some. Oh,
okay, that's a deal.
It changes your life. It changes your life.
Okay, because spicy, hot. I like it.
Oh,
really spicy.
You will never do anything different at the honey Old Bay.
Okay.
You will never. Snowballs or ice cream?
Ooh, snowballs.
Okay. Egg custard?
egg custard.
Yeah, we got to try. You got to come to Baltimore. Egg custard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, good stuff. We got it.
I worked for Governor Ehrlich, and when he would travel, we would stop at every snowball place.
All right.
I am not kidding.
I love that.
He loves it. He was
I
loving
love
it.
that.
If there was a truck parked on the side of the road, we'd be pulling up right there.
That's Maryland right there. I love that. I truly, truly love that. Your favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
It's the one Bruno Mars,
Yep.
Beyonce, and Coldplay.
Yes,
right?
that was a great one.
Oh my God, that was a great one. I have to say, I love last year's.
It was Rihanna.
Yes.
And she was pregnant during that time. Yes.
Yes. And also the year before with the rap.
Back in History, yes. Yes.
I thought that was fantastic.
That was.
I loved it.
That was one of my favorite ones, actually. I
was-
always forget about that. I don't know why.
Oh my God, it was so great. And it was such a generation shift.
Right.
Because I talked to my son and he's just like, oh my God, I just relived my whole high school career.
That's how I felt watching it. That's what I love. Now you're bringing me, I'm getting chills when you said that. I'm like, that, it's like, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it. And then, like I said, I'd love to come back down to Annapolis, hang out with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And just really just get a vibe and hang out and just chill with the team. But thank you for taking me in and sign and die. Thank you for always just being, thank you for even inviting me to Inspire Maryland. That was really appreciated.
We'll be doing it again next year.
All right.
So we expect to see you there.
We'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Womack. I'm a former strategic intelligence officer with the U.S. Navy. I spent the last couple of years at U.S. Cybercom and transitioned from active duty after 15 years into small business ownership. I own and operate a digital marketing agency in the state of Maryland. So a lot of people approach me thinking that digital marketing is simply social media management or maybe doing Google ads or Facebook ads, things like that. But what digital marketing really is an umbrella term for a multitude of tactics to get small businesses found by the people who need them. I personally specialize in search engine optimization, website development with conversion architecture in mind. And what that really means is the people are going to your website and doing the thing you need them to do. And oftentimes it's requesting a quote, an appraisal, things like that. So there's definitely a psychology to website development. And we lean really heavy into the psychology of sales to get people to do the things you need them to do. A lot of times as a business owner, you haven't had the time to think about what your needs really are, what your challenges truly are, the sources of those challenges. I can guarantee you in most cases, it's not simply that you need an ads campaign, and that's where I can add value to your marketing strategy.
Welcome to the NoPixAfterDark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. I'm so excited today to have an amazing show. You know, Mako's been amazing. I'm loving it. And we have the Attorney General, Mr. Anthony Brown. How are you doing?
Aaron, I'm doing wonderful. Oh, we're projecting pretty loud here. I'm doing wonderful. It's always great to be down in Ocean City for Mako and some of the other conferences throughout the year. Good opportunity to mix and mingle, learn a thing or two. So I'm doing well.
How has the first 6 months been for you?
Busy. That's probably the best way to characterize it. And you know, I'm working with 900 professionals in the Office of the Attorney General. We are the people's lawyer with the privilege of representing almost every state agency to ensure that, you know, one, government is delivering for the people of Maryland. Two, you know, we're operating within the bounds of the law. And you know, three, that, you know, Marylanders have confidence in the public sector. So I'm really enjoying it. I got great clients like Governor Wes Moore.
Love it.
And his team. So it's been a busy but very exciting 6 months.
What bills are you so excited we can talk about that passed during the legislation?
We have a number of important bills that we got passed, and during the campaign last year, I made a commitment that I would seek greater authorities to protect more and more Marylanders. So one of the bills that we work with the General Assembly to pass into law, which is effective October 1st, is Civil Rights Enforcement Authority. Most Marylanders don't know that their Attorney General does not have the authority to enforce federal and civil rights laws, whether it's voting rights, whether it's, you know, addressing discrimination in housing or the workplace. but come effective October 1st, we will have that authority. So we're going to stand up a division of lawyers and investigators and paralegals, and really, set out to ensure that no Marylander, regardless of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identification, age, ability, is discriminated against for that basis.
I love that. I love hearing that. That's I'm actually really warm hearing that, because that's so important. And I'm glad you guys are really got that done.
It's big. A lot of other attorneys general have that authority. In the District of Columbia, Carl Racine, who was the most recent attorney general, he used that authority effectively in addressing housing discrimination, source of income-based discrimination, have the largest recovery in a housing discrimination case in the history of this country. So those are the kinds of things that we want to do to make sure we're protecting Marylanders.
And how do you feel for expungement for cannabis? Let's talk about that real quick. Has that started with that? Because I know a lot of black and brown people have records or they can't get a great job. Are we working on that? How is that going right now?
Sure. So, cannabis reform, which was approved by the voters last year on the ballot and is now implemented effective July 1st, where we now have, lawful adult use of marijuana. It's rolling out nicely. No incidents to speak of. And there are a number of things that I'm focused on, and I'm going to make sure that my office is working closely with the General Assembly. We have in the past, will continue. Things like expungements, making sure we're expanding the universe of people whose records can be expunged, particularly those who have been, have a record based on possession of marijuana.
Right.
It's now lawful today, small amounts, and those who have a record, whether it's an arrest or incarceration, for those reasons, they ought to be expunged. Working on a number of other things, as you can imagine, and we see it reported on regularly. A lot of revenues coming to the state of Maryland as a result of the adult lawful use of cannabis. We want to make sure that those revenues go to the impacted communities, that we're sort of, at the center of the war on cannabis in the past several decades. That was a failed war, and we need to make those communities whole by making sure we're investing in them.
Wow. So a little bit lighter note, Mako. What's your favorite thing about Mako when you come to Mako?
My favorite thing about Mako is the sun, the beach, and the people. And maybe in reverse order, because I love the people. It's great to be here with county leaders. A lot of statewide leaders are here. It's an opportunity to meet with stakeholders, and it makes it a little bit easy, too, because you got a lot of people in a small place. We're having a good time, letting our hair down a little bit, but able to talk issues, policy, reconnect, stay connected, strengthen relationships. So really, first and foremost, the people, followed by the beach, and then the sun.
What about the crab feast? Are you going to do the crab feast today?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
I've been AWOL on the crab feast for the last 8 years, but now that the governor's crab feast is back with Governor Moore, I'm going to be there this afternoon.
I love it.
I'm going to be cracking some crabs, picking some crabs, and having a good old time.
I love that. So we're going to do something really fun to end. I always do with everybody. Speed round. Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Drums. Got to work it.
I'm a flat guy, man.
I like the drums, and make sure whether dry, maybe a little bit of barbecue sauce, whatever it takes, but work it a little bit, lick the fingers, get the napkins, a little bit of wipes.
What about Honey Obey? How about that? You like Honey Obey?
I gotta say, while I've lived in Maryland for 31 years, Obey does not run in my blood. But when I'm picking crabs, the only way you're gonna get them in Maryland is doused with a whole lot of Obey. So I work it, but I'm limited on where I apply it.
All right, blue cheese or ranch?
I like blue cheese.
My man. All right,
there you go, blue cheese.
Crabs or crab cakes?
Oh, come on, you got to do the work. Crabs.
I love it because you can put your phone down and you get to talk to people. Yeah. You're not going to pick your phone up, touch an Obey, and touch your phone.
You're not going to do that. And you got to work for what you're eating, but it's an experience. It's not a meal. It's an experience.
And what's your favorite Super Bowl halftime show? If you can remember.
Well, first of all, I love the entertainment around the Super Bowl. And while not a halftime show, Whitney Houston, 1991 national anthem, gold standard. You can't beat that. But in terms of halftime, I like the Dr. Dre's production that he did. 50 Cent was part of that. It was great. A lot of movement, a lot of folks involved, a lot of energy. Loved it.
Oh, I love it. That's it. I thank you for your time. I just wanted to enjoy. And
Aaron, thanks for having me. And to your listeners, Go Ravens. We got a season coming up. O's, we need to finish strong. And yeah, it's an exciting year all the way around.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us for a little bit.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you. And folks, we are back, and what an amazing Mako, and I have a pioneer next beside me. I mean, this guy has done so many great things for this country. I'm so excited to have him on the NoPixAfterDark show. U.S. Senator Mr. Ben Cardin, how are you?
It's so great to be with you. Thanks for being here at Mako. We appreciate it. This is a happening. We always enjoy meeting with our local officials, and you get everybody here at one time, and you can really get a lot of good government business done.
So congratulations on your amazing career. Congratulations. How does it feel coming to win? How does it feel?
Well, I've been blessed. It's been a real honor to represent the people of Maryland. It will be 58 years, both in the state legislature as Speaker of the House and now in the United States Senate and passing through the House of Representatives. So I've had an incredible opportunity to represent the people of Maryland. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm proud of what I've been able to get accomplished for the people of Maryland.
What would be one of your favorite bills that you ever passed?
Well, I'm going to start with process.
Okay.
What I think is important, particularly in these times, is civility. Being able to work together, to get things done. So for Democrats and Republicans to put aside partisan differences and get work done, and put an election aside until the elections are actually here. So I was able to get done some very important bills, particularly in small business, where I chair the committee. I was visiting Berlin, the city of Berlin, yesterday, and I saw businesses that wouldn't be here today but for the bills we were able to pass in the Senate during the COVID experience.
COVID, yes.
And that was working, I was working with a Republican. We got the PPP program done, the idle relief programs done, and small businesses are here today. The Chesapeake Bay, I worked with Senator Capito, a Republican from West Virginia. The prior administration wanted to zero that out, the federal partnership. We increased the federal partnership for the Chesapeake Bay during that period of time. So, and I've been working on human rights globally, which I think the values of America are best displayed. I worked with the former Senator John McCain to get international human rights, the Magnitsky sanctions. So I am proud of what I was able to get done using civility and using common sense and working together. I
love to hear that. I love to hear the relief program for COVID. That was so important. We talked to you, Senator Van Hollen, yesterday. He mentioned that a little bit yesterday also. And I heard you guys talk about catfish yesterday, I heard.
Oh, we talk blue catfish all the time. We're the wild blue catfish, first of all, it's a delicious fish.
Yes.
I urge people to order it at menus on restaurants, but they're a species that is destroying the juvenile crabs, and they eat just about everything in the bay. So they're a species that we want to restrict in the Chesapeake Bay because of the damage that it's doing.
Wow, I heard all about that. So what person on the other side of the aisle was always willing to compromise and say, let's talk about tariff bills? What person, what's person that you're like, I would never think, or maybe an audience would never think that would reach across the aisle?
Well, it depends on the issue that I'm working on at the time. I'm working right now with Senator Crapo, the ranking Republican on the Senate Finance Committee, to get cancer screenings done under the Medicare system.
Oh, wow.
Working with Senator Wicker, a Republican from Mississippi, to get human rights done, a global bill to deal with anti-corruption. It's legendary to work with Senator Portman, a former member for both the House and Senate from Ohio. We worked on pension reforms, we worked on IRS issues, we worked on a lot of issues together. So it depends on the issue, but I've been able to partner with Republicans so we can get things accomplished.
I love that, because I feel like so many bills need to get passed, and it gets always just, I'm on one side, I'm not trying to help. It seems like you're not trying to help the American people. And it's weird.
Look, I'm a proud Democrat. I want to get as many Democrats elected at election time as we can, because I think that's where we'll get better policies for this country. But once elections are over, you got to work and get things done. The American people want us to solve their problems, and there are a lot of problems out there we need to deal with.
What's your favorite thing about Mako?
I think it's the people. This is people. Mako, the counties, that's the frontline public servants. They can't hide from the issues, and it is Team Maryland. So I've been coming to Mako for now, I guess, 40, 50 years. And I've seen just dedication to public service, young people trying to make a difference, experienced leaders. So it's I think the energy of the collective presence of so many elected officials. And then you have your state and federal partners that are here. You have the private sector people who have to deal with it. You got everybody in one place at one time here in Ocean City. It doesn't get any better than that.
Are you staying with the crab feast today?
I'm going to try to. It depends on how my schedule folds out. But the crab feast is legendary. It's a little hot out there during the crab feast.
It's a little warm. It's a little warm. It's a little warm. What would you like somebody to know if they've never seen you, never met you, like coming away from this interview, like from your whole history of being Senate, Congress, like what would you want people to know a little bit, your lasting mark?
Well, I think that I've tried to make a difference to help people who need help. I think Team Maryland working together with the other players, our governor, our state legislators, our county councilmen, our municipal officials, to try to solve problems. We know it's tough out there. Right. We know, like a local business owner, has the challenges of inflation, has the workforce trying to find employees, has COVID that has to deal with, unexpected circumstances, that we really are trying to help. And we're not trying to push it off and say it's the municipal problem or a county problem or a state problem. We all want to work together to try to solve these issues. So I am proud as the senior senator. I put our 10 members of our congressional delegation into Team Maryland. We share a lot of information. As a result, we get more done. So I think what I would like the people of Maryland to know, that I've tried to bring together the collective talent that we have in public service to make a difference for the people of Maryland.
I love that. I love it. We do a quick speed round, real quick. Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Flats.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
All right. Crabs or crab cakes?
Crab cakes.
Where do you go to get your crab cakes from?
Well, there's a lot of different places, but I can tell you there's a lot of good places here in Ocean City. We have a lot of good places in our neighborhood, but I don't want to get in trouble for a lot of other places. So I'm going to just tell you, any place in Maryland you can get good crabs. Don't try outside of Maryland because they don't know how to cook them.
If you could, who's your favorite music artist?
I have to go back to the Kingston Trios. I go back a few years.
Wow, okay. Senator, Senior Senator, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for what you have done for the state of Maryland. We really appreciate everything you've done. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I really enjoy being with you, and it's really great. It's great to see the spirit that you bring to this meeting, and thanks for what you're doing.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Are you or someone you love in need of mental health support? For All Seasons is now offering same-day therapy appointments with no wait list. Through the For All Seasons Open Access program, you can walk in for mental health services and begin therapy in the same visit. For All Seasons accepts all insurances and provides financial assistance if you need it. For therapy, psychiatry, or victim support, we have appointments available today. Call For All Seasons 410-822-1018.
And folks, you know, this is an amazing conference again at Mako. What a beautiful place. Meet so many amazing vendors. But I wanted to bring it back home to Baltimore. We had a guy that is doing amazing things in Baltimore City and the state of Maryland. He was doing Main Streets, in charge of that for Baltimore Main Streets, and we lost him to the state. But he's doing great things. Mr. Sean Stinnett, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, good. What's your title now? Because you do a lot of things. You got a lot of hats.
I try to go where my talent takes me and so forth. So, but yeah, I'm back with the Maryland Department of General Services. I was actually there prior to I had gone over to the mayor's office.
Okay.
I had served 10 years before I left there. But right now I'm the Minority, Veterans, Small Business Liaison, as well as the MBE, VSBE Compliance Supervisor for the agency.
I love that. I love hearing that. That's
right.
that.
Yeah.
Because I will be honest. I tried the MBE process.
Yes.
And it was tough.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna sit here. I thought I was like, I'm pretty knowledgeable. I can figure this out.
Right.
And I gave up. I will be. Full transparency. I was like, I can't do this. This is too much.
Yeah. No, we try not to say, look, you're not alone as far as going through that process.
Thank you. All right.
One of the things that we definitely make sure that prior to you applying for the application, the Maryland Department of Transportation, they have a wonderful MBE workshop.
Okay.
Every first Tuesday of each month. It'll take you from A to Z in regards to that application process. So they have folks that are there, that actually the folks that you're going to see eventually once you do submit, but they'll take you from A to Z to make sure that everything is correct, everything is accurate, because they don't want you to sit there and, like you said, do it yourself, apply, and then something is wrong, and then that kind of delay your process for even more.
It's frustrating when you think about it. You're like, all right, I'm trying to do this, trying to make this happen. And you're like, this can't be too hard, but it's hard.
Right, yeah,
it's hard.
definitely hard.
So, what are some things that you're seeing out in public, talking to businesses, minority business owners? Like, what are some of the frustrations that you've seen that you can help out? Like,
well, the thing about it is it's all about consistency.
Right.
As far as with these contractors, you got to be consistent. Of course, I wish that I can go to somebody's house, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, I have a opportunity for you," coming from the state. But it's all about being consistent. It's all about if you don't have the needed experience, partner up. Do some joint ventures with some companies as far as to get that needed experience. As far as doing government contracting, period, whether it be in city or the state.
Okay.
But you just have to be consistent, going to the pre-bid conferences, going to different outreach events, as far as really, have that good capability statement so you can really show as far as what your company is all about. And just, constantly looking at that bid board and seeing exactly what opportunities are out there. But I think just the number one key is just that folks don't really pay attention to. You got to be consistent. I
love hearing that, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are like, oh, we want to do a contract with the state of Maryland. And is there a class out there to say, this is what we're looking for? Is there something out there for people who may be trying to figure it out?
Right. Well, there's a lot of outreach events, so we can, come to you and really talk about as far as how to do business with the state of Maryland. That's something that I value every type of organization, whether it be a nonprofit or whether it be in a community association is trying to give some resources out to businesses. But I love coming to those type of outreach, because sometimes some of those businesses never even thought of doing work for the government, and saying that, look, we have procure a lot of service opportunities that you're going to look into, like security, the facility maintenance, which is security and janitorial and so forth, or if you're what type of construction trade, whether it be in masonry or drywall or steel, metal erection, and anything.
I like it.
You know what I mean? Just really, we're trying to get folks more engaged and really, really make sure that we're very aggressive to make sure we reach those MBE goals.
Man, you dropping some jewels and gems right now, because I know a lot of people will be listening and watching like, all right, cool. So where can we find you guys online and stuff like that? That way they can know where to find it and look up the information.
Great, yeah. So as far as DGS, is www.dgs.maryland.gov, and Maryland is spelled out. That's where you'll find all of the things that DGS is all about. What we do, from federal surplus, from, procurement, from MBE as well. Our state procurement site is EMA, which is E-Maryland Marketplace Advantage, and that's where if you're trying to do business with the state, you have to enroll your business into that so you can see the solicitations coming through.
Wow.
So you can bid on those projects.
Wow.
And I always recommend, even when we have those smaller companies, register yourself as a small business reserve vendor, because that program enables those smaller companies to actually become primes. They'll put you in that position. The projects may be a little bit smaller than a large one that's like the $19 and $20 million ones. But however, that'll give you the needed experience as far as you can grow your capacity within your company.
And one thing I definitely want to see is, and when we finally get the red line up and running, make sure that a lot of contracts have minority business on top of that.
Exactly. And what we're doing is unbundling a lot of those bigger contracts so we can get those smaller minority companies.
And that's very important.
Right, exactly.
So definitely. What I would love to do is do a longer conversation with you, not
Please.
here, but when we get back, and just really get down to some of the points and stuff like that, so people can really understand it. But people, check them out. They're doing big things. Please check them out. I know a lot of y'all. I know a lot of small business owners. I know a lot of you guys out there trying to figure things out. Get the stuff down. Now he's inspired me to go to that class and go through it and just take time to do it the right way. So thank you so much.
Step by step.
We appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
And folks, we are back at Mako, and what an amazing, amazing event. I love being here, and we always bring amazing guests. So we have Miss Daniels. How are you doing today?
I'm great. It's wonderful. This is my first time at Mako. I usually come to the MML.
MML, yeah.
But this has been fabulous. Just to have the connections with people and to get to meet them and let them know what we do has been a fabulous experience.
Well, tell people what you do, what company you roll with. Tell us, please.
My organization is the Baltimore National Heritage Area. And so I am specifically in Baltimore. We have 62 national heritage areas across the continental USA, including a portion of Hawaii. And I am one of 13 certified heritage areas in the state of Maryland.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So heritage areas are designated, well, national are designated by Congress. U.S. Congress designates your boundary. That boundary has the resources, cultural attributes, and resources that reflect that history, the culture of the people in the past and the present. And our job as heritage areas is basically to make sure that that history is sustained, it's shared, and it's preserved for future generations. So that is nationally, and they go all across the country. In the state, you have the same requirement. Now, heritage areas were developed in 1984 by a bill signed by Ronald Reagan, and what it was to do, it was to marry parks with communities for economic development, for expansion, and to get communities involved in preserving their history, and also raising income and revenue for their regions. So there are people that actually get in their cars, take flights, just like you go to Europe and research, your history there. There are people in the United States that actually take and get in a car and they visit different places that are relevant to the history that they're interested in. So Civil War, African American history, whatever your interests are there, that's heritage tourism. So it's all connected to a specific type of heritage. If you are Italian, maybe you're looking for your roots. Where did your parents come in from? Well, as everybody knows, Baltimore and other places in the continental USA, there was a migration of Italians that came in. So those are the kinds of things that heritage tourism brings. And at the same time, it's bringing economy into your region.
So what spots in Baltimore, areas in Baltimore are go ahead, I'll let you tell you.
No, well, our biggest interest right now is the civil rights movement.
Okay.
We are talking about civil rights because I believe in October, the Department of Civil Rights is going to have a celebration of Civil Rights Month in Baltimore. But next year, 2024, we will be celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Bill being signed.
Wow.
So that is a national type of designation. So we're going to be looking at celebrating that. Right now, the other aspect of it, which is not always positive or relevant to African Americans, is America 250.
Okay, what's that?
That is where we celebrate 250 years of being an American under our Constitution.
Okay.
So we're going to be celebrating that. And Maryland has a Maryland 250 commission as well. So what we're doing is we're collectively looking at all of our stories and trying to bring those stories together so that we can celebrate. One of the things that is a real important aspect of it is that we need to tell the stories that are true and authentic, and recognizing that African Americans played a huge part in the building of America.
Facts.
And that is not always the story or the narrative.
Right.
So I would like to share one thing with you.
Go ahead.
That I've been, sometimes I come across as like a preacher,
Hey, listen. I'm on the edge of my seat listening.
So this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be a little bit interesting for you. Baltimore is significantly important to the building of America. And this is how. First of all, the Civil War, the first bloodshed of the Civil War was fought was in Baltimore. Okay? Because Lincoln wanted to protect D.C. But we were the stronger ones, so they had to come through. Second point is the War of 1812, which most black people say, I don't want to be involved in that because that was pre-slavery time. However, black and white people came together to save our country from the attack of the British.
Right, 1812, yep.
So that is an important piece of the history. My point is black and white together. So we are just as important in defending this country.
Correct. Correct.
Regardless of what our status was. Then I will go a little bit further. The fort existed before the Battle of Baltimore.
Really? Okay.
Who might you think built that fort?
Slaves.
Okay. So that ground in which that fort is hallowed to all black people. And every black person should go visit there, especially if they're from Baltimore. Should go visit it and stand on it because they are standing on the true soldiers' shoulders of their ancestry.
Wow.
Now, let me go a little bit further.
You're going deep.
Okay.
You're going deep right now.
The railroad founded in Baltimore. Those railroad lines were available to send the first Morse code. Our form of telecommunication. That is the step. Baltimore. That happened in Baltimore. The first gas light. Baltimore. So our connections go all across this country.
Good morning. If you are parked in the dough roller parking lot, please move your car immediately. The dough roller is going to start towing cars. So again, if you're parked in the dough roller parking lot, please remove your car immediately. Thank you.
So go ahead.
So we are connected. So this is the deep part for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
African Americans were brought from this place where we are right now at Mako and brought to Baltimore.
Makes sense.
A lot of them were, you ever heard the term sold down south?
Yeah.
Sold down the river?
Right here, yeah, that makes sense.
Sold down the river.
That makes sense.
You were sold down the river to go into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Right.
To pick cotton. Cotton is the fiber of America.
Right.
We are everywhere. Baltimore is everywhere. And it ran across to the Midwest and picked up in the West.
I love it.
So you cannot recognize that Baltimore is a historic city. And in today's environment, we are a cultural mecca. We have great artists. We have more than two, but most people know two. We have great universities and education systems, and all we got to do is figure out a way to build up Baltimore to be a Renaissance city. And while we're doing that, is help the residents that are there. That's what's important.
I love that. I love.
So that is what I'm going to close on.
I mean,
okay?
I'm not going to say anything else.
Whatever you want to ask me now, I will tell you.
I'm not
okay?
asking anything because you dropped the jewels and gems. You just dropped it. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
But we're going to do a speed round with you, though.
Oh, boy. I hope I can answer.
Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Neither.
You're a vegetarian.
Don't like wings. Don't like chicken.
Okay, we can work with the crab cakes. You like crab cakes?
Like crab cakes.
Crabs or crab cakes?
Crab cakes.
Which are, we're not going to say the place. We're not going to say what place. Snowballs or ice cream?
I like snowballs.
Your favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
My favorite what?
Super Bowl halftime show.
Well, since I don't watch football much, I would have to say, and he's my favorite artist. Didn't Prince do a halftime show?
Yes, he did. He did.
Prince
Yes,
would be my favorite because I tuned in just to see him. I love that man. I love him. I loved him.
Where can we find you guys online? Social media?
ExploreBaltimore.org is one. We have an Instagram, BNHA is our Instagram, and Facebook, Baltimore National Heritage Area. So let me just tell you something else. For all of you photographers out there, we have a contest going on right now. It runs from April to December 31st.
Okay.
We are looking for photographs. They must be high resolution because we will do reproduction of them. And those photographs, what we're trying to capture this year in our photo contest is what makes Baltimore charming.
Ooh.
So, what do you think makes Baltimore charming?
The people.
Exactly. So we're looking for photographs with people doing fun things in the Renaissance City.
Okay.
Whether it's hanging out at a festival, hanging out at a conference, whatever, but we want it to be things that are Baltimore-centric and that they can recognize that it's Baltimore, but we want to show our people because that's what makes us special. So that contest runs until December the 31st, and it has prize money.
Okay.
So
say less.
$500 for the grand prize, $400 for the first prize, and it descends from there to the third place. So join us, okay?
All right. You heard it here first. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you love me right, yeah, this could be the summer of our lives now, honey. Give it to me like you know you should now, baby. This could be the summer of our lives, the summer of our lives. The sun sets on fire, tell me your desires. We're not getting tired, baby, take me higher. I'm Sunday, you love it, come on, give me something. I know that you want it, boy. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me right, yeah, this could be the summer of our lives now, honey.
Testing, all right. Folks, we are back. I told you I had the celebrities of the state of Maryland come on the show. And I've been trying to get a hold of this person. I mean, it's my fault because she's been so busy. And we met at Winter Mako, and I was like, I want to do an interview. And you were like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, hey, you got some good stuff going on in your county, so I appreciate it. The county executive of Cecil County, Miss Danielle Horberger, how are you doing?
I am wonderful, Aaron. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're running around, you're busy, but we're just going, how's Mako this year?
Mako's great. It's a whirlwind, as usual, you know, but having a lot of fantastic meetings. Some of those planned, some impromptu in the hallway, and always good.
Great. So you are a board member, correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. And what does that mean to you, like, board of Mako?
Oh my gosh, you know, it's really great. I said yes early on and really didn't know what that would mean. And I'm still, you know, kind of finding my footing being a new board member. But just being able to kind of have access to my counterparts in a way that, you know, we didn't before, just, you know, that communication, that free-form communication, and then really having an inside track on some of these issues that we're facing, like Kerwin, Blueprint, you know, some of these things. And it's nice to hear from some of my counterparts, we're struggling with the same issues, and sometimes really looking at them in a lot of the same ways. We've got similarities more than we think sometimes.
I agree. I love hearing that. So what have you, like the last 6 months, how's things been? I know you guys have some major things going on. Let's talk about, we'll go into economic development. Okay, we'll go right into it.
Sure.
Now, my kids love going up to your county now. My whole paycheck's there. I feel it. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. You guys got some big things going on. Tell us what's going on.
We do. We have Great Wolf Lodge. It is, you know, it opened just recently, a couple months ago. We had the grand opening. The governor came and, you know, helped us cut the ribbon. And it's phenomenal. It is, as I'm sure you know, and your kids, it is the largest in their portfolio. It's not only the largest water park, but 700 rooms. Each room is a suite, and it's a fun place to be. It really is cool. I went to the one in the Poconos in Williamsburg way back with my son, and this is like, I say way back, maybe 10 years ago, but this is just leaps and bounds beyond. I mean, the technology they use and just the shows that they have and the kids, it's just the energy there is fantastic.
I mean, I tell people when you go in there, it's like Disney World for kids.
It is.
It really, that's how I can only, and it's only 40. So
Disney in Maryland.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like a 45-minute ride from Baltimore. It's probably an hour and a half from Columbia, from Howard County, and Arundel County, about 2 hours, or not, about an hour also. But it's so close, convenient, off 95. How has that been for the economy for you guys? Have you guys seen anything?
We're just seeing the impacts. So now I'll report back to you maybe in a year or so. But it's positive. It's great to see good things and such a I'm going to say kind of iconic. You compare it to Disney, and it really is. So they do great work. They do a nice job. We also have some other really large companies, large economic growth. We have Northrop Grumman, defense manufacturing in Cecil County, and we were able to expand the enterprise zone with the help of my council, and we've got 250 new high-tech jobs coming online. So that's some positive stuff in Cecil. Just a little snapshot.
Hey, that's congratulations.
Yeah.
That's huge. I can't imagine. I can't think of how many people they've hired at Great Wolf, and now you got that also.
Oh yeah.
That's huge for people looking for jobs, good paying jobs. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and over 60% of those working at Great Wolf are out of Cecil County. They're Cecil County residents, which is huge. Yeah,
I love that.
So that's what we're trying to do. Same thing with those high-tech jobs at Northrop Grumman. It used to be you live in Cecil, your child goes away to college somewhere, maybe locally, maybe not, but they weren't coming back because they didn't have those high-tech jobs. We are building that, and we're going to see more and more of that. It's part of my initiative is to really diversify, right? We want to see that diversity of industry, not to put all our eggs in one basket, and so we'll be set for the future.
Well, I'm excited for you. I'm not going to let you off the hook yet. We do a speed round for everybody who comes here, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Do I get to talk about my tax cuts?
No. Do you want to talk about that?
I mean,
hey, you're here. Let's talk. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Talk about it. Go ahead.
So yeah, I do want to talk for a second. We're doing some really great things. We're of course investing in our community, investing in public safety, and cutting response time as far as when you call 911 and things like that. We're helping the opioid epidemic, doing so many great things. Our services are still great, but we're able to still provide our tax cuts year after year. We've cut taxes every single year of my administration. So this is the third year of property tax cuts. Wow. Income tax cuts for 2 years in a row. And this year we gave $20 million back to our residential homeowners.
Wow.
So yeah, what that means basically is 94% of our residential homeowners got about $700 back on their taxes. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look and move to Cecil County. And I'm like, wait.
It's a toss-up because then the kids would be right around the corner from Great Wolf. You might have to go every weekend.
Listen, you've already convinced me right now. I'll be on Zillow when we get off this interview. I'm serious. I'm like counting that money. I'm like, oh, that's saving money. Oh, I like. Thank you for dropping that jewel and gem. See, I'm glad you said something. Thank you. Anything else you want to highlight? Just about the county, because I want to do a long interview with you. But
sure,
like anything else you wanted that we might not know about.
I mean, listen, we've got 8 municipalities. They're all really special in their own. But we've got miles of shoreline. We are the top of the bay for. I think we should probably start there. A lot of people don't even know where Cecil County is. So we are at the very top of the bay. And so we have kind of all of that waterway, all that is ours, and it's a great place to raise a family. So I'll just leave you with that.
I love that. All right, we're gonna do a speed round.
Okay.
All right, chicken wings, flats or drums?
Oh, drums.
Okay, I'm a flat guy. I like
You're a flat guy?
There's a certain way you eat a flat with one bite.
Oh, that's like the cartoon.
Yep, that's one way. Blue cheese or ranch?
I go back and forth.
Ooh, chunky blue cheese?
Any blue,
chunks. I gotta have chunks.
No, I'm any blue cheese, and I go back and forth. I like it all.
Do you like, honey Old Bay wings or lemon pepper wings or regular barbecue wings?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Crabs or crab cakes?
Crabs.
I love
Straight
that.
up.
I love that. I see. Well, I tell that to people because I'm like, let's disconnect from this phone because you're not going to pick up a crab.
That's a fact.
Because you will have Old Bay in your eyes, and nobody wants that.
Wait. I'm going to throw one at you.
Uh-oh.
Old Bay or J.O.'s? Putting you on the spot as a Marylander.
So, I prefer J.O.'s, but Old Bay is good.
Yes.
But when I steam them in my house, I use J.O.'s.
Same.
See? Look at the turn the tables on me. Had me nervous for a second. You know what? When we go back up there, I'm gonna have the hard-hitting questions for you. No, I'm just joking. But your favorite concert you've ever gone to? Music concert.
Ooh.
Everybody has a music group. Somebody's like where you would go back in a heartbeat.
Favorite where I would go back in a heartbeat.
Dead or alive right now.
Oh man, no doubt.
Ooh.
I'm a 90s girl.
Gwen Stefani. Okay, Gwen Stefani. Okay, I like that. Don't speak. Then I can't sing. But that's really good. Snowball or ice cream?
Ice cream. Every
really?
night. Every night.
No snowballs.
Ice cream every night.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not a snowball person. And then if you could think back of anything that really, what made you get into politics? What made you what made you get into it?
I mean, when you say get into politics, I have been interested in politics since I was 12 years old.
Wow. Wow.
I don't even want to take you back that far, but my mom loves to tell the story of me walking into my parents' room and saying, I need a Washington Post, a Maryland Independent, and a New York Times stat.
Wow.
Because of an election. So I've always been interested in politics, and life happens, and you have a family, and then you really care what's happening in politics. So there you go.
Hey, folks. Yeah. And where can we find you guys on social media? Look up for any visitor guides or whatever it may be.
Sure, DanielleHorberger.com.
Okay.
Or my Facebook page.
All right.
Yeah.
And Cecil County is there?
Cecil County Executive.
And what website is Cecil County? Is there a Cecil County website?
Yeah, there is. Yes, Cecil Government. Yep.
Will do. I love it. So, folks, go check it out. They have so many things happening up there. Families are living. I'm about to look for my Zillow next now because I'm like, it's time to move. Sorry, Mayor Brandon Scott, but I need my tax a little bit lower. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right.
All right.
Hey folks, we are back, and this has been an amazing, I'm using the word amazing a lot, but that's the best thing to describe Mako. It's been great being here, talking with so many celebrities. There's a celebrity to my left, Mr. Matt. How are you doing today, sir?
Celebrity is a loose term, but thank you, Aaron.
You are a celebrity.
Thanks.
You are a celebrity. So tell people a little bit about your title and what you do.
So I'm the executive director of the Baltimore Convention Center. Joined the team again in January, and really making sure that we drive economic impact for both the city and the state.
That's awesome. Do they have a nickname for you, like Big Mac Attack?
I would say my employees probably have less friendly words to say about me, but no, Big Mac works.
So you had told me something really interesting. I want to talk about it, the Nest. Tell the audience a little bit about that so we can really pump this up.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Baltimore Convention Center's next door neighbor is Camden Yards. And we have a fabulous outdoor terrace and an indoor lobby space that we've coined the Nest for weekend homestands, so that folks can tailgate in a far more family-friendly atmosphere, in air conditioning, with a lot of bathrooms, in an effort to make sure that we're not only kind of creating some vibrancy on that corner of Conway and Howard, but also so that people can come see the convention center in a way they probably don't normally. Folks normally think, oh, the convention center is for out-of-towners, or it's where I go see the car show, but we want to make sure that we're part of the community too, and this is a way we can do it. And it'll have cheap beer, have cornhole, Jenga, music, just change it up a little bit.
I like it because you mentioned something that was really very important to me. I thought you said, Aaron, like you can't take your kids to pickles. But this is a great family-friendly place. Expand on that.
Well, I mean, we've got a ton of space. We're obviously not here to make money on this. We're here to create exposure for the convention center, for downtown, to help rebuild the vibrancy that we know Baltimore has in it and the downtown area has in it. And quite frankly, these are all practice sessions for, I'll knock on some wood, but some playoff action where we'll be doing this for all the playoffs. And if you've ever walked from a garage down by the harbor, walk towards Camden Yards, you've walked past our building. But you probably didn't know what it was or how you would use it. Well, here's one way you can, and you can bring your kids, and it's a great way to kind of see what we're all about and play some cornhole, play some Jenga, listen to some tunes, $5 beers, food.
$5 beers. You heard that?
beers.
$5 beers. That's unheard of right there.
That's right.
Are you going to do this for football season also? Or is this a test run?
Yeah. So we're targeting the rest of the O's season, and then again, I believe there's a Thursday night Ravens game, and we're looking at some of the afternoon games as well. Some of the 4 o'clock starts come football season.
Because I think Ravens do a lot of 1 o'clocks. It's weird. It's with the 4 o'clock game.
Maybe we'll come up with a breakfast concept.
Ooh.
Do some Bloody Marys and
Easy,
stuff like that.
Easy,
But
I like that.
We have a world-class caterer, Sodexo Live, on property with a fantastic chef, and why not really let him show off what they can do? This is more than just a hot dog on a roller. We're bringing that fire. So
I love that. Where can we look on the website? Where do we look up? How do we find information on this?
So you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Our website is bccenter.org. You can follow me on Instagram, ExecDirectBCC, and all of the Nest information will be on all of those channels.
Folks, I'm going in the next one, so I'm excited. It's going to be a great time, a great place to just change it up, switch it up a little bit. $5 beers, I can maybe dance a little bit out there, some tunes, have a good time.
Exactly. Can't wait to have you here.
I appreciate you coming on, and we'll do a longer version interview to really talk about what's going on, the convention center, all the events that's going on.
We got a lot to talk about.
We do. All right, I appreciate you, sir.
Take it easy.
Oh, no, oh, before we go up, I'm sorry. I messed up.
Uh-oh.
I'm not letting you off the hook. Speed round.
Oh, okay.
Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Oh, drums.
Barbecue sauce or Old Bay sauce?
Old Bay, everything Old Bay.
Okay. Super Bowl, who's your favorite Super Bowl performance?
Favorite Super Bowl
Halftime performance.
Oh, Prince, 100%.
Okay. Snowballs or ice cream?
Snowballs.
Crabs or crab cakes?
Crabs.
All right, you on the hot seat.
Wow, that was nervous. I was worried about that. That's a great question. Favorite halftime show.
Yeah.
That's a very polarizing question.
It is. Check them out at the Convention Center. Baltimore Convention Center doing some amazing things down there. I'm excited to go to the Nest. Oh, are you going to beat the Birds Nest? Can't say Birds, can say Nest. All right. Have a good one, folks.
Thanks, brother.